Hi, this is Maginoni, and welcome to The Good, The Bad, and The Disappointing. I have a very special good, bad, disappointing today. Why do you ask? Because very simple. I really didn't find anything that outstanding. There was some decents, but, nothing fantastic. Totally wowed me. So anyways, let's go with a good. Not necessarily the best good, but we'll run with this. And that's Forever Evil number 5. Now, I am very disappointed as a whole with this series because it's dragging on so long. It just feels like this is really issue 500, and I just want it to end, and I would love to see it end today, but we're stuck with 2 more issues. Now, why do I say it's good? Well, for one very simple reason, actually, and that's because Sinestro finally proves that he is the total badass he's supposed to be, and he finally kills himself a Green Lantern. That was fantastic. Now, even though I liked that part, I really liked the events that led up to that part where you had the Green Lantern, Power Ring, running for his life. I loved that part. That was great. And I even loved how Sinestro just takes him out. Because you Sinestro fans out there have been wanting to see that happen to Hal. Anyways, finally at the very end, we get to see a glimmer of potentially who the villain is that took out the other universe. And we also have a nice little interaction between Batman and Lex and who's really going to be in charge of the counterattack against the Injustice Crime Syndicate. Now, there's 2 really big question marks in this whole storyline. Who is the Hooded Man, and who destroyed the other universe? Now, I'm going to give a little spoiler, but I don't consider this a spoiler because this has already been revealed in websites. This is what we get to see, and this is the clue that somebody is coming. Now, this is just speculation, and I have no fact or anything to back it up, but I was thinking that the Hooded Man could be Wally or Booster Gold. Now, Wally he almost is that one type of person where you kind of go, well, I can see that, but then why would anybody fear him that much? But Booster Gold is the wild card that you don't know. He time travels, he does all sorts of things, he's manipulating things, he did disappear recently, and he's a wild card. Now, this, I have no clue what this is. I mean, there's a part of me that thought this could be the Anti-Monitor, or even Darkseid. Darkseid would just make me roll my eyes. But I thought it could be the Anti-Monitor, but then I'm thinking, wow, what a letdown. You finally get the Anti-Monitor come back for all you Crisis fans. And then less than an issue, and he's gone. So, and then there's not even a build-up or anything like that for the next phase of his attack, so I don't really know how that's going to work out. But the Anti-Monitor would make sense in that he could destroy the world. Anyways, that's my speculation. My 2 cents. The bad. Ugh. That's all I gotta say about this. Ugh. This was horrible. Horrible Unleashed. That's a typo. Okay, basically what we have is alright, this part's kind of cool. You have a bunch of Talons. They're running around. They're killing everything. You have Bane getting, shot up with arrows and stuff like that. And, I'll be honest, it's nothing that we haven't seen before. We know Bane is a badass, but yet DC has to prove time and time again how much of a badass is he compared to everybody else except for Batman. Because Batman always just takes him out really easy, and everybody else, is so much more powerful than Batman, and that's why he has to take all these guys down to show how much of a badass he is. And, I was really bored, honestly. I was really bored with all this nonsense. And then when I got to the very end, and it's not a spoiler because you see this right here. Basically what's going on is Scarecrow has to combat Bane somehow, so basically he gives Venom to all of his cronies, and they all turn into like Bane versions of themselves, and they're all gonna kill Bane. And you know, I'm sorry, but how cliched is this picture? How unimaginative is this? You know, and the sad thing is, I can see them in the writers' meeting. They're patting themselves on the back. This is what we're gonna do. This is gonna be awesome. Think about it, Scarecrow Bane sized, and you're gonna have Man-Bat Bane sized, and I'm like, this is so stupid because, you know, I'll tell you, it doesn't matter how big these guys are. It doesn't matter how strong these guys are. Bane knows how to fight. So when you take two people of equal strength, one knows how to fight extremely well, the other doesn't, guess who's going to win? Bane. Every single time. So when you do this, it means absolutely nothing. I mean, even Killer Croc, you know, let's say even if his strength was like magnified even more so than Bane, he's not intelligent like Bane, you know, so he lacks things that's crucial. Fighting skills. He's raw savagery and strength, you know. But Bane he's martial arts. He knows how to use weapons. You know, he's intelligent. And so when you see this, I'm sorry, not when you, but when I saw this, this is what I did. I'm like, done. I am so done with that. Now for the disappointing. Batman Detective Comics. I have to take a breath here because it's just the level of disappointment is so high that it's drowning. Now, here's the deal. I know I bag on Scott Snyder's Batman. I bag on it because I hate the concept of going back the 1 year later type nonsense. Or sorry, not the 1 year later, but doing the year one. But even though I don't like that, I can still appreciate the level of writing that's being worked. You know, the art is great, and you know, in time, I think that 0 year thing is really going to stand out on the shelf. You know, it's going to be Scott Snyder's entire run is going to be going down as probably one of the greatest Batman runs ever in modern history. And then you get this crap that sits right next to the stupid Batman comic on the shelf. And then you just want to table flip it because you're just like, you want to take a flamethrower and purge this from any existence because it doesn't deserve to be on the same shelf as a Scott Snyder Batman issue. Here's the deal. Batman he's fighting the Scarecrow. And Scarecrow's figured out some new tactic to deal with fear, and you know, it just gets to the point where I'm like, you know, the Scarecrow is supposed to be terrifying. He's supposed to be, you know, something that you look at and you just go, you know what? I don't want to mess. I know I can beat him up physically, but it's not worth it because he's going to jack up my world 1,000 ways till Sunday. And when I saw this whole thing where it's like, well, you know, we're not going to give him the greatest terrifying thing. We're going to kind of give him what he wants. And then we're going to do this and with that because when we do this, then it's going to stimulate that kind of fear. I'm like, no, just give him the greatest nightmares known to mankind. And then I'm going, okay, fine. Let's just ride with it. Let's just deal with what the story's going to deal with. And I won't even pass judgment on it until I go to the end. And then I get to the end. There's spoilage. Basically what happens is, you know, Batman breaks out of his cell. He is going to confront Scarecrow, and whoa, look what he's about to face. Scarecrow versions of his allies. And, you know, the sad thing is, when you see crap like this, you just kind of go, I've seen this before. I've seen this 1,000 times before. You know, 1 minute it's the Scarecrow face, the next minute it's going to be the Joker face, the next minute it's Two-Face face, next minute it's, you know, hell, it's going to be Killer Croc's face. You know what I mean? It's the same type of bullshit that we see time and time again. And, you know, it's not, this isn't scary. You know, this doesn't stimulate fear. Yeah, you're fighting, you're forced in your mind to fight your allies. Who the hell cares? When has Batman never had to have done something like this in his career before? And really, Batwoman, who's kind of like outside the zone of that, you should have put Damian in here if you really wanted to stimulate fear. That would have really have done something to Batman's psyche. You know, not Talon. You know, please. Please. This is just complete and utter bullshit. This is something that, you know, like, you just want to just burn. You know, it doesn't deserve to be on the shelf. You know, I expect better from DC. You know, I don't... It's just such a utter disappointment. This doesn't deserve to even have the name Batman attached to it. It doesn't deserve to have Detective Comics attached to it. It deserves, you have read a sack of shit on this. That's what this deserves. Because it's boring, it's unimaginative, and who cares? It's not even worthy to be a Scarecrow villain title. Anyways, that's my good, the bad, and disappointing. Let me know what your good and bad and disappointing are. Like the Facebook link, Crunchyroll anime reviews, more reviews later. Until next